Thank you for joining me for Sketch and Doodle Thursday. Today I have some more botanicals picked out. These are both from the grocery store. It's still winter here, so I don't have a selection of flowers outside. And I typically like to have a vase of flowers in my home in the winter, so I gather them from the store when I can't find them outside. So here are the two that we're going to focus on today, and we'll start with the leaves. And I have my sketch pad here. If you don't have a sketch pad, you can use a blank sheet of paper. And I have my uni pen markers here. There's a variety of different thicknesses to these. I'll just show you right here. So I wrote out the different thicknesses, and as you can see, they go from very thin to thick. And I'm going to go ahead and choose one. I'm going to go mid-range here today. And typically I stay with one thickness for a sketching session. Here are the leaves. The first thing that I like to do is just observe them as they are. And what I see is a cluster of leaves here at the base. And they're all, it's in a radial arrangement around. And then as I go up, I see that they're kind of alternating. So they're not directly across from each other. They're more going back and forth. These ones aren't evenly spaced as I look at them. And then just looking at the tip, I see the two leaves on the top. And same looking here, the ones at the bottom are in a radial arrangement. And then moving up, they kind of alternate. And then when I look at the tip, I'm seeing the two leaves. So what I'm going to do is place one like this. The other one I'm going to pull off some leaves because I like to look at them as they are. Just a leaf. And I see that they have a little bit of a stem to them. Part of that's from the stem of the entire plant. The other thing I see here is this little thing dried up. So a little, I'm not sure what to call it, but that's something that could be added. So if I'm looking at it, what I mean is drawing a leaf. And I am not trying to be exact here. I'm just getting the essence, but there's like a little thing like that, which adds a little interest to the shape. The other thing I like to look at is the veins of the leaves. These ones are hard to see, but there is a central one. So I could add veins if I'd like. And the way I approach this is I'm not going to be drawing this exact. I'm just getting a sense and just getting into a flow with my sketches. So if I'm going to look at this and start, maybe I would draw this. And I know there's two leaves up here at the top. And there were a number of leaves at the bottom. Kind of like this. And then alternating. But not alternating exact. So something like that. And if I wanted to add those little things I saw, I could do that. So just getting into a flow. So this isn't how I observe it here with leaves on the edges. I mean, if I wanted to draw, you know, what I see, sometimes it looks like that. But I'm gonna just go ahead and start just drawing leaves. Different directions. Be adding that. Sometimes just keeping my pen down the entire time and seeing how that feels. So going down and then up, maybe lifting it to do that. Just getting sketchy. Not spending a lot of time thinking. I got a general sense of what it looks like, so then I'm going to just get that essence of it. So now that we know that there's 2 leaves at the bottom, some at the top, and then a cluster at the bottom, and then that's how I go about it. I'm kind of quick with my sketches. You can go as slow or as fast as you'd like, get as detailed or not as you'd like, whatever feels comfortable for you. You know, doing it doubling up on the line, seeing what that looks like. Trying them a little bit different shape here. I'm elongating them a little bit. Just moving along the page. Trying them in different directions. Use some without the veins. Maybe going back and adding those little details that we saw. Maybe just drawing this radial cluster on its own. Trying it again. Just keeping my hand moving. And again, I mentioned in a previous video, I do like to use a pen. I don't know if I mention it here, but it just encourages me to just keep on going rather than being exact. Rather than concerning myself with being perfect and getting it just so. I'm kind of committing to the lines and then working with them. If I feel like I mess up, then I go with it. You know, if I mess up, maybe I want to make it more into a scribble like that, and then see what that looks like. Just continuing to fill the page. Maybe some with just those top 2 leaves. So these are all things that we can add as sketches to our collages. I'll show you some ideas. once I stop moving here. So once you get started, it's hard to stop, at least for me. So let me show you. So one of the things that you can do is do your sketch on a white sheet. I did it on this sheet here, and then I cut it out, and then you could add it to your collages. So this is kind of what we're going for with this practice, is just coming up with ideas that we can use. We can even use this scrap as part of our collage somewhere, you can imagine. These are the from the samplers. The other thing is I love just adding them like this. So just coming up with ideas for flowers to add to collages like this. So this practice is getting us to there. So even if I grab a sheet that's a 4x4, which we do the mini collages on, I could see that I could then come in after I practiced again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're making handmade things, so something like that, and then I could cut it out. Or if I did this directly on the collage, I could go ahead and add some different colored acrylic markers to it. So just like I did with these. Okay, so I'm feeling like I've done a nice variation. Maybe I want to just do one more. Nice variation of the leaves. This will give me some nice ideas. So what I'll typically do if I'm wanting to add some sketches, I'll just scan through my book and just come up with ideas. So let's move on to the next page. And I have these flowers. These are interesting. So there's this whole cluster on the stem. And this, to me, I don't feel like I could draw this whole cluster. I'm going to look at the individual flowers. So I'm going to probably maybe pull this one off down here. Take a peek at this and scan it. And I see there's two leaves right across from each other. There's this actual tiny flower in here that's not bloomed yet. We've got some more leaves here. We've got all of this, the green at the base, and then this nice shape up here. And we can even look inside the flower and see what we see. And for this one, I'm going to just break this one apart because I have plenty of them. So I'm going to clip this. I like to see the sections of it because it might give me some other ideas for sketching. This is quite attached. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off. I'm going to just see what this looks like. This is how I approach the flowers, just seeing what other components, what can I see in here? And then when I'm pulling this, let's split this in half and see what I see. All right, look at that. Let's take another one because I want to see one whole. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take a look at this. I'm seeing that these are alternating up the stem. For this one, there's one at the top. It looks like one might have broken off. I'm going to separate some of these. And I want to be able to view this, the inside of this one. I want you to be able to view it as well. I'm going to try to keep that open there. So I do an arrangement just so I can see different aspects of the flower. What I'm going to start with is just looking at this one. So just looking at what the top looks like to me, not being exact. And then what I see in the center. So there's these pieces, and at the top there's some little curlies. So something like that. And you can see how this could be a nice, interesting flower to add. And if I'm gonna do that. These leaves are kind of thin and long. They're also a little jagged. I could go for that detail or not, but to me they're like this. And I can work that shape in. So more like that, or if I want to keep it simple and do curved. So let's continue. I'm going to continue with this, play with this, with the inside, because I find that really interesting. So part of this will be, you know, what I see, part of it can be made up by me. That's the beauty of this, is not having to be exact. Try to draw it small. So just draw it how you see it. You might see it exactly the way I see it. You might have your own interpretation. So that's really fun. And maybe another one. I try something, sometimes I like to do at least 3. Not more. I'm being a little bit slow here, not as sketchy as I was in the first session that we did. Sometimes I try to pick it up to see what would happen if I went faster and not worried. A bit more sketchy. And then moving on to just looking at the plant or the flower like this. What do I see there? I'm going to bring it down, even though I don't see that base of it. I still brought it down, but it's got like these things, this green. Try not to feel a lot of pressure as I do this. Just explorations. And there was that one that I saw, that tiny flower right here, so I could actually add one here if I'd like, little bud. Sometimes I like to turn them upside down and just see what this looks like, or what it feels like to draw it like that. Seeing if I see these, I kind of got these oval shapes out of, so what if I just started there and drew some ovals? Just brought it down like that. Then some points. Some leaves. I'm liking how that looks. So starting again with ovals. I just did this. And I can add the lines or not. Just moving some of these. These I'm not quite getting any shape out of because it kind of ripped apart, so I'm not going to be drawing those. I can look at the leaves here, or actually let's see if I can get this leaf with this bud. Do another one of those. Kind of a nice arrangement. Sometimes just seeing how simple you can get it. So I'm skipping the jaggedness of these leaves here, because I know that I like to do pretty simple typically, but you know, my style can change with time as I explore different things. Doing this like this, starting with these circles or ovals, felt like a fun way to do it. Just trying to simplify it into these simple shapes. Maybe do like that, like that. You know, I could just leave it like that as a design, not trying to look like this, just coming up with different ways to create doodles. So obviously this looks very different than that. And what if I did it like this? I don't know where my hands are going like that. Different feel. Here I thought, what would it look like if I kind of mirrored it? Just a thought. I'm just fitting any more in that I want to do. Maybe just some of these thin, long leaves. Like a double. And I'm wrapping it up for Sketch and Doodle Thursday. I appreciate you joining me. I hope you came up with some good ideas. Love to see what you've created from these flowers, to see the differences, different ways of seeing things. Now I'm just adding these little clusters here. This isn't an actual shape on here, but it's kind of what I'm seeing. And I actually just explored something by poking over there. These kind of open up like that. So it's actually let's pull that like that. So each one is more like that. That's what I'm seeing now. But I could explore on and get something different each time that I pulled these same flowers out and explored them. Okay, so I could keep on going, but that's it for this session today. I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in our next Sketch and Doodle session.